Welcome to the channel, Healing here. Today we have an exciting interview. We have my friend and legend, Dale L. Roberts, who is one of the best publishing experts in the space. I'm honored to have him on this channel, and I should mention he has one of the largest, arguably the largest following in publishing related matters. You can check out his YouTube channel. I'll plug his channel down in the description, the link for his channel. So you'll want to check that out because there's a tons of value to be found for publishing related matters. And I can vouch that there's a lot of gems that he drops and a lot of knowledge bombs that he drops for publishing related matters. So if you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe to his channel. And thanks for coming on to the channel, Dale. It's great to have you here.
Second time's the charm, man, and it's always a pleasure talking to you, Ahilan. I really appreciate it. Just to kind of cue people in, some people probably already caught the original video. For some reason, things went sideways, and I was like, you know what, man? Let's go ahead and we'll scrap it. Let's start fresh, and we'll make this one even more succinct and even better.
That's right. It's going to be even better. So let's get right into the interview questions.
Okay.
So why did you start self-publishing? So why did you get into the self-publishing business in the first place? And can you tell us how much it's changed your life, so your lifestyle, and just how much of an impact, having a publishing business has made on you, and as well as the importance of building a personal brand?
Wow. So that's three excellent questions. I might have to circle back around. Let's start that with the reason I stumbled into self-publishing. Yeah, I stumbled into it. It was based on a challenge that I got from my corporate wellness coach that I was working at for my 9-to-5 job. Believe it or not, I actually was in a job before I was paid to play with senior citizens. I was an activities director, and she knew I was very enthusiastic and very passionate about fitness and said, you should write a book. I ended up writing a book in a course of about a year. I ended up publishing it through Create Space Publishing. My very first paycheck I brought in was $23 and some odd cents. I said to myself, what happened if I go full-time on this? Make this an actual business. Imagine the possibilities. You fast forward some time later, and boy, I burnt through my 401k, my personal savings, and we were just barely making ends meet before I saw that breakthrough. And how it affected my life wasn't sudden. It was almost like this slow burn. And this is exactly what my coach and mentor had said at the time. This is going to be a slow burn. Hang in there. Just be consistent with everything that you're doing. Stay disciplined. You'll see it's going to come. And sure enough, it started just gradually picking up. And, I'll tell you that I wasn't, sipping champagne or eating fine caviar, nor am I doing that right now. But at least now, looking back, 2014, when I left my day job and I came into this business, I'm doing way better now. I don't have to worry about going back into a 9-to-5 job. I make enough money to pay all my bills, have stuff left over at the end of the day, and live life on my own terms. And I'm a simple man. I don't require much. I don't have very much hair on my head, so I don't need to go get it cut very often. I don't really need to buy lavish materialistic things. Like, I'm not the type of guy that, you're going to see going and buying a Porsche. It's just not into that type of stuff. I kind of like traveling and I like meeting people. So that's what it's afforded me, this lifestyle that I'm able to just do what I like on the terms that I wish to and spend time with my wife. There was a third question.
Yeah, I'll run that by you again. So why is it important to build a personal brand?
Why is it important to build a personal brand? Brands are where it's at right now. Back when I first got into the business, around 2014 to 2015, this was the Kindle publishing gold rush. People were coming in. They were just pump and dump. They were writing in these hot niches and trends, and they were making money hand and fist. But you fast forward some time later, Amazon, which is the online juggernaut, the big elephant in the room right now in this conversation of self-publishing, they are pretty much run by a search engine algorithm. And the more that this algorithm gets user data, it's able to refine how it serves its customers. And based on how the customers search for things or buy things. They're able to kind of go, okay, this works, this doesn't work. And then they tweak their platform based on the information they have. So what ends up happening is all these one-off books, these people that were just shooting things out there, fly by night, trying to make a quick buck, started to discover, oh my gosh, this ain't working anymore. And so that's where the brand kind of comes to the forefront, something that people can kind of hang their hat on. When you think Nike, what do you think of?
Just do it.
Okay, yeah, just do it. You probably think of the swoosh as well. You probably think of different athletes. When you think of McDonald's, what do you think?
Big Mac.
Yeah, I'm loving it.
Yeah.
The Arch, maybe Ronald McDonald. These are brands. And I'm not telling you that you need to have a massive brand like McDonald's or Nike or anything else like that, but you need to get it to where you're recognizable and people can come to you based on what it is that you're the authority in, whether you're nonfiction or fiction, or even for some of you out there, they're doing, say, no content, low content books. You need to be very specific about what the solution is that you're offering to your audience and know exactly what your brand message is. Is it just do it? Is it I'm loving it? What is it? So for instance, you come to my channel, man, my brand is, you know, I help you publish books that sell.
Hmm.
And so that's my brand. So you as an author, you as an entrepreneur need to get it straight. You need to understand who your audience is, what are they looking for, and how do you fit into that equation, and how can you stick to that as a brand?
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, I like that point because the biggest and most successful businesses, whether Walmart, Amazon, McDonald's, they all, apart from the real estate, they are extremely successful because their brand, right? I mean, like you said, when you say McDonald's, what do you think? When you say Walmart, what do you think, right? When you say Amazon, what do you think, right? There are
Yeah.
certain things that come to mind that resonate with their audience because they recognize, like you said, that brand. Yeah, awesome, awesome. So it's 2020 now. I get a lot of people asking me if it's too late to make money with self-publishing. Has the ship set sail for self-publishing, or is it too saturated now? Give us your thoughts on this question.
Yeah, I always love the saturation point. A lot of people assume it was saturation means that there are more content creators than there are consumers. That's the thought. There's more creators than there are consumers. There's more products than there are buyers. And that's so untrue. This market is still relatively untapped. Now, are there some areas that are rather crowded, that are rather competitive? Absolutely. I think the best way we can just do a callback to the whole brand thing. If people can start to rely on what it is that you're providing, saturation won't make a darn bit of difference. Because if you've built this solid platform, this podium from which you can speak and deliver your message, the more and more assets that you start to build on top of that platform, the louder you will be and the more people you will reach, and those people will tell other people. So to think that this market is saturated, absolutely not. If you think it's saturated, that's totally cool. You can go ahead, go to another business, and I'll continue in my saturated market. But is it going to be easy? No. Kind of like what I said before, it's not as easy as what it was before. That's easy for me to say. But if you are diligent, if you're persistent and you're willing to learn and do the work, then you will succeed at this business. So in 2020, now more than ever, is a great time to be in this business. And if you haven't started, okay, you haven't started, start now.
Mhm.
There's, no better time than right stinking now.
I like that point you made. It's a good sticking point, and I think that's where some people need to make the paradigm shift. Is where there's more people assume that there's more when they say it's saturated. They're implying that there's more content creators and customers, which is not the case. There's plenty of customers. We live in a planet of 7 billion people. Amazon self-publishing in specific has not reached all markets yet. I believe there's still markets they're still tapping into. Um,
Correct.
and yeah, so the sky's the limit, right? There's so much opportunities. It really comes down to, I guess, a uh, scarcity and abundance mentality, right?
Yeah, and I think maybe, and I'm not trying to say anything disparaging to anybody who feels this way. And I'm open to debate on this one right here. But I think some people just want it to be the way it was before.
Mm-hmm.
They want it to be as simple. Listen, folks, this business is still in its infancy. Being in self-publishing, the modern day self-publishing, it's still pretty stinking new. I mean, you think about this, Kindle Direct Publishing didn't launch until late 2007, all right? And it really didn't start picking up traction until about 2010 to 2014, 2015. And then when they started to refine this and the business started to evolve, it started to grow. But you got to think here, we're in 2020 right now. It started kind of in 2008. And now that they're kind of really refining ebooks and print on demand books and even downloadable audiobooks, I mean, gosh, the sky's the limit. We have yet to see the best stuff. And I mean, that's only 12 years. And another 10 years from now, Heelan, you and I are going to look back and go, what? Wow, this is crazy. I'm glad we got into it when we did, because if you think it's saturated now, give it another 10 years. And you're going to be looking back at this specific interview going, well, he was right. I probably should have just went ahead and gone for it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Curious to know what my audience thinks. Comment below. Let me know if you guys and girls think, is the market saturated for self-publishing, or is there room for opportunity? Just comment below. Let us know. So let's get into the next question. Going into 2020 and beyond, what are some pieces of advice you can tell new self-publishers just coming into the space? So in specific, Amazon marketing and audiobooks.
Okay, so those two are really awesome. I'm going to put audiobooks next because I know I get real passionate about it. Let's talk about advertising, and specifically Amazon advertising, because it is right now the most dead simple and cheapest way to drive traffic to your assets, to your books that are being published on the Amazon platform. This is a pay-to-play world here, folks. That's another thing that has changed significantly. I mean, you and I got into the business. We didn't bother doing it. We just put the book up and organically we'd get sales, right? Or we'd do some kind of a free promotion through like a website. We get some, generate traffic that way. We didn't need to worry about Amazon advertising. But the fact of the matter is, if you want to get, say, first page placement and your book ain't doing all that great, Amazon advertising. If you want to get in front of the audience that's actively buying things related to your books, Amazon advertising. So this is, I'll tell you, this business is starting to evolve, and I'm really most excited about Amazon advertising because they continue to spread out. I mean, just in the last year alone, they expanded from just US to UK, and now they have Germany, Spain,
That's right.
Italy. There was like a couple other ones. I'm sorry, it's just looting my brain right now. They're expanding the reach in the regions. I anticipate that in due time, we will see something a bit more sophisticated as far as the actual ads and putting them together, probably something in line to something like Facebook advertising or even, say, Google. So, if you are new to this business, I recommend take a look at this. If you're starting into Amazon advertising, start with low budgets, low cost per click, and go into it with the mindset of, I'm going to spend, let's say, $1 per day to learn this system and understand it and appreciate it. You're going to lose that money, okay? But it's not going to be a total loss, because as long as you learn to actually use their system, this is going to be the best way for you to get a leg up on your competition. So it's a pay-to-play world here, folks. So you might want to start paying. Otherwise, I think John C. Maxwell once put it, you either pay now or you pay later. Either way, you're going to pay. So just think about that. All right, so audiobooks. I said I wanted to say that one because I get super passionate about audiobook publishing, especially downloadable audiobooks. It is staggering, the increase in sales year over year over year has shot up. And even some industry insiders are starting to believe that downloadable audiobook purchases is going to exceed that of ebooks and eventually that of print books.
Wow, combined.
Why is this? Accessibility. Accessibility and technology. All right, I purchase all three iterations in some capacity. If I need something on the go, I'll buy an ebook and I'll put it on here. If I want to read it in bed at night, I'll go ahead and I'll buy it on ebook. If I really invested in it, I will probably buy it on print book because I like to have something in my hand. I'm a material guy when it comes to print books. There's something that I like about dog-earing something, highlighting some stuff, and going back to it time and again. And then there's audiobooks. If I don't want to go through the hassle of having to sit down and actually read it, I want it read to me, I get a downloadable audiobook. And here's the beauty of it. You can put it on 2x. You can actually listen to it much faster than what you would ever be able to read it unless you're a speed reader. So I will work out, or I will be cleaning the house, or I will be doing some administrative tasks, and I'm listening to an audiobook. So I'm learning as I'm working, or I'm learning as I'm burning inside the gym. So I'm saying all this to bring it back to this, and I almost feel like I'm repeating myself, but I know that I'm only repeating myself here with you. Year before last, Owen Video, he's a big video content creator, had shared a stat with us at the Merch by Amazon conference in Seattle, in that by the year 2021, over 80% of online traffic will be that of video consumption. And not only do we just watch videos, sometimes we just listen. Why is this? It's easy to consume. It's easy to digest. So this is why I say to people, anytime they get with me, they're like, I'm struggling in this business, Dale. What can I do? And I'm like, okay, do you get the ebook? Inevitably, it's like, yeah. Do you get the print book? Sometimes it's like, yeah, and a few people say no. And I'm like, okay, that's okay. Do you have audiobook? No. I'm like, there's your biggest struggle. Because right now, it might seem like the barrier of entry is high, but it really is not all that bad, because if you can either A, equip yourself with the right equipment to record it yourself, you can record your own audiobooks. Or B, you find a good qualified narrator that can do it for you. And since ACX, Audiobook Creation Exchange, the Amazon-owned company, you can do a 50-50 royalty split, which means for 7 years, you're agreeing to a contract in which you will split 50% of your earnings with the narrator. Mm-hmm. They take all the risk. You don't. It's kind of a nice little deal. I recommend if you do 50-50 royalty splits, do it on one, and then take the remainder of the revenue that you generate from that to hire the narrator so you own the rights outright. That's going to be the beauty of it. I don't know if I ever told you, when I got into this business, did a ton of audiobooks, did a ton of 50-50 royalty splits. I wish I could go back in time and just smack myself in the face. Like, don't do that.
If it makes you feel better, I'm in the same boat as you. When I started out, I did the same exact thing to save costs. Of course, we didn't have money at the time, but we weren't thinking. I wouldn't say we weren't thinking, but we didn't really anticipate the long term, right? It was short-sighted, a short-sighted move. Yeah.
It was very short-sighted. I unfortunately didn't know what I know then, what I know now. Yeah. And I know that even my coach at the time knew the growing demand of audiobook, but I don't think he understood to what extent. And his advice to me was just put in 50-50 royalty split. If you can't afford it, do all of your stuff. And I'm like, done.
Yeah.
And I started firing off one audiobook after the other. And the funny thing is I could actually go back to the narrators and ask to purchase back the rights. But when they got it good, they know they got it good. So of course they're like, oh, they're asking for higher than normal rates. And I'm kind of like, I see how it is. We're just going to wait this 7-year contract out. Oh, cool. I get it.
Yeah. Audiobooks are a powerful digital asset to have in your publishing arsenal. Yeah. So the next question is, for publishers stuck on exclusivity or solely relying on Amazon for their source of income, what can you tell them about why they should diversify their publishing portfolio on other publishing aggregates, and what are the advantages of this?
Diversity is key, because if you try to put all your eggs in one basket, you're opening yourself up to more risks and potential dangers. When you do publish on a platform, one specific platform, you have to adhere to their rules And even sometimes those rules that are not really there, they're a bit ambiguous, or if they decide to change those rules. So this is one of the reasons why I try to tell people is don't just try to rely on one avenue. Try to spread out. Don't just rely on the books to pay your bills. You got to start to think, okay, how can I build off of this? So you see what I've done. I created a YouTube channel. And on that YouTube channel, I'm paid through AdSense. I'm paid through affiliate sales. I'm paid through sponsorship deals. And then we can even go furthermore that we can go into getting paid for speaking engagements. So I want you as an author or a self-publisher to always think of ways that you can really diversify what it is in your revenue that's coming to you. That way you protect yourself in the long term.
Yeah. I agree totally. And this is beyond self-publishing. This is just fundamental business principles in regards to diversification and thinking beyond being a self-publisher. So have other products down the line. Think of your customer's journey. So let's say, for example, you're in the weight loss niche. You got a weight loss book out. Maybe you have an audio book out and a paperback book as well, but you can sell them, waist trainers, supplements, all those things, right? And like you said, the sky's the limit, right? Like it's just, you got to think of it as a business. You want to create as much increase the frequency of transactions with your customer, right? Because the most important number for business is the lifetime value of the customer, LVT, metric you want to focus on. So the final question, this has been an awesome interview, by the way, Dale, so far. A lot of value dropped. Wow. If you guys like what you're hearing, make sure you give the video the thumbs up and comment below. From your experience, what is the formula to long-term success for self-publishing? A lot of publishers think finding the magic keyword, quote unquote, is the way to go. But what can you tell them what they need to do to find sustainable success for years to come?
You really need to set up a way to get going. You're going to need, first of all, discipline. Now, what your goals are and stick to them. And you got to be consistent. You have to be consistent. If you want to have consistent, results, you have to stay consistent with your action. So I'd say of all things is discipline's much like a muscle. The more that you exercise it, the stronger it becomes. A lot of people want to know why I get so much accomplished within the course of 24 hours. It's because I've really worked on my discipline. So I can't agree with you more.
Well, this was a phenomenal interview. If you liked it, share your thoughts below. Comment below on perhaps tips that you found impactful that can help you with your self-publishing business. And remember to subscribe to Dale's channel. I'll leave his channel link in the description. Thanks for coming on board, Dale.
Thank you.
And that's going to be all for this interview.